Welcome back everyone to more career mode gameplay of SRX the game. And before we get to today's race, which is a big one, I want to take a look at our facilities for a moment because we haven't done a whole lot here. Of course, we don't want a team driver just yet because we're still driving the car, and to the best of my knowledge, we're not allowed to have two cars in our team for the 305s. But I do want to look at business manager, facility manager, and public relations manager. I just got an offer after our previous race, once I had stopped recording, for a new facility manager. So let's take a look there. If we want to get a facility manager in place, Cynthia Winters gives us a 2.5% discount on parts. Now, it's not very big, and we would fully expect as we continue in the game to have access to facility managers that give us much larger discounts, but 2.5% is better than nothing. It only costs $500, and with some quick math, we will save a lot more than that on our next purchase of an engine whenever we finally get to that spot. So let's go ahead and put Cynthia in place. We'll go ahead and hire her. And business manager, we have Calvin here. Sponsor bonuses by 2.5%. Now, right now, we're not getting huge sponsor bonuses, but he only costs $250 to hire him, so we're going to go ahead and do that as well. So we'll spend a little bit of money here. Now, I don't think public relations, we haven't gotten any opportunities for that so far. So we've got a couple of guys in place. Hey, our small team has a couple of new employees, and we'll take that. So let's hop back over to the team summary. We're going to click on Continue Season 1, and that brings us to today's race. Now, if you were with us in the last video, you know today's race is the finale. If we hop over to the schedule, race 14 of 14 in our abbreviated schedule, 50 laps at Knoxville in a showcase event. Now, the showcase event, I'm not sure exactly what the showcase is. Is it going to tell me? Yes, it will. You can see here on the far right, Edelbrock, we need to finish top 15. Yikes. Top 15 means not only do we need to make the A main, but we need to come into the top 15. That is huge. However, take a look at where we are as far as existing sponsorship. So in showcase number 1, we unlocked a couple of sponsors, Lakeside Media, Racing Optics. Excellent. So that means we've got something to look forward to in next season. Then in showcase number 2, we unlocked an even better sponsor with a lot more initial payout. Of course, Racing Optics is who we're using right now. And then in the final showcase, if we finish top 15, we get the very best sponsor, Edelbrock, which gives us a lot of upfront money and then a very nice payout per race as well. So that's what we're dealing with. And so top 15 is what we need. Wow, that is a tall order. However, our goal is always to finish the very best we can. Knoxville, 50 laps, $22,500 for the winner. Let's get going. Practice and qualifying in the books, and not too bad overall. You can see we were within about a 1/10 of our goal time in practice, and then very similar lap time in qualifying. That's going to put us at the back of heat number 2. So overall, I'm pretty happy with our speed. Now, that does not give me a lot of hope that we're going to be able to unlock Edelbrock as our sponsor, because a top 15 in the A main, that is a tall order. But first things first, let's get to the heat.
The top 2 advance to the qualify dash. Good luck, everybody.
Top 3 advance straight to the A main. We do not want to get caught in the alphabet soup, so we want the best finish we can possibly get here in heat number 2. One of the most tense times of the race, believe it or not, is when you get control of the car, because the car wants to do some funny things. These things are not designed to go straight. Oh, I think we got a little love tap there from behind. I don't blame them. One of the criticisms I have of this track in the game, well, actually a few. Number 1, it just doesn't feel anywhere near wide enough. But beyond that, the berm. That is, oh, that was awful. I can't see where the berm is down on the bottom. You can't go all the way to the fence down there. Well, I guess you could technically, but and I can't see where that's at. Right now I'm just struggling for other reasons. but I cannot see where that berm is down here somewhere. Woo, we are all over the place right now. Try to get back by this guy. Yeah, it's the shadowing and everything is really messing me up on the track. I can't find my corner entry points or anything. And this is, yeah, this is a bit touchy right now. I'm looking for my corner entry and can't find it. So yeah, I'm just having some weird lighting issues that is wreaking havoc. I mean, at certain points, the lighting will show me where the berm is down on the bottom, but I don't have enough laps here in the game to really know exactly what I'm looking for. All right, that was pretty good. Oh, I jumped the berm there. You can see it definitely gets a hold to the car and messes you up. What I really need right now is for this heat race to be over. Yep, jump the berm there. Definitely went over it there. So we're back to 8th. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you hit the berm or go just over it, as long as you know it's coming and you can counter steer for it, because it's going to take a lot of wedge out of the car, and if you're not ready for that, it will really mess your handling up. So I'm hoping when we get to the mains that it'll be at night and maybe the lighting won't be quite as bad, at least for me anyway. Hopefully for you guys it isn't near as big of a problem, but for me it was causing havoc. But now, by virtue of our finishing position in the heat race, we're now moving on to the D main. We got our work cut out for us.
The top 5 all advance to the C main.
All right, we're starting second, so that's on the outside of the front row. Top 5 advance to the C main. So first things first, we got to get a good start and try to put down some good laps. Try to get down to the bottom and get below this guy. All right, let's keep him down there. They were definitely working on me earlier, so we're going to try to give them some of their own medicine. You can see I hopped the berm there, but I was kind of ready for it. I'm trying to experiment a little bit here and seeing what I can do with that berm, because there's just not a lot of room out here on this track, at least that you want to use to race. You don't want to get pushed up high. It would be amazing if we could use the high line here and really be fast. And I haven't really tried it, but not really at very many tracks can you run a higher groove and do well. So all right, now that I can see where the berm is a little better, makes things a little bit easier about hitting my line. Jumping the berm really hasn't helped, so I've backed away from that. And we have pulled away in the lead, so okay, that's good news, because remember, we need to make it to the A main if at all possible, to give ourselves a shot, because who knows, if you make it to the A main, who knows what could happen there, and we may end up in the top 15. But we're not going to get there if we can't make it to the A main, and that was a terrible corner. That was a little better. Yeah, essentially, right now for us, in these cars with our level of performance and speed, we're essentially running this like a restrictor plate track. In other words, you're trying to turn the steering wheel as minimal as possible in order to maintain as much speed. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. And by turning minimal, I mean as much as we can just let the steering wheel be right in the dead center, the better. So basically try to get the car turned on entry, get the steering wheel back to center, and not have to move it a whole lot in either direction from there. I'm not quite there, but it's doing pretty good. Of course, I'm not going to claim that my entries are perfect either. My driving needs a lot of work. I'm trying to get down to that bottom without flirting too much with that berm. Of course, the berm isn't huge here in the game. Certainly not as big as I've seen it when these guys are racing in real life here. At least it doesn't appear as big in the game as it does on TV when these guys are racing. Definitely playing with the throttle, just trying to maintain what I'm looking for as far as a line around the track. Oh, way too loose there on corner entry. Let's see how this goes. Lapping cars, how about that? That's an awesome concept. Something we haven't had a chance to do. Now the car feels fine up here in this groove. I have no idea how fast we are, but it feels fine up here if we need to use it. There's plenty of grip to it. I just can't make any speed up there. Now, I'm not seeing any pressure. Oh, woo, that was almost big for us, because he came right up in front of us. But yeah, the car feels perfectly fine to run up here in a higher groove. It's just slow. That's the thing, it's just slow. But right now it looks like these lap cars are right down on the berm. I mean, they're right to the left front on it. So I can't really get below them unless I get positioned on the straights. And to me right now, it's just not worth it. I can run this higher groove. There's no pressure from behind. And you can see it is a much cleaner groove for us to run right now. Slower, yes, but cleaner in and through the lap traffic. I'm starting to change my mind a little bit about the speed up here in this middle and upper part of the track. I'm thinking if you catch this just right, you can run down some good laps. Now, I don't think it's going to be the fastest groove, but I think it might be usable. Particularly in traffic. Oh, I think I just tagged that guy. Moved him out of the way. My bad. But yeah, right now I am very much experimenting with these last couple of laps. But we were able to put down some fairly good laps compared to what I can run in the bottom groove. Alright, so let's get back down here toward that berm again and finish this thing off. A little bit earlier entry. Nope, didn't like that. Okay, but overall, we got the job done. A victory in the D main means we're moving to the C. Alright, we got our work cut out for us here in the C main. Only the top 5 advance, and we are definitely not starting inside the top 5. So once again, we're going to try to get right down to this berm and see if we got enough speed to work our way up through this field. Now we got 25 laps. You can see right now I'm almost forced to play around some with this berm at the bottom if I want to continue to make up positions, because there's not going to be a lot of room in the preferred groove. Whew, look out. Contact there. Way too loose on corner entry there. That was my fault on the entry. I didn't get the line I wanted, didn't get the steering input that I needed. Same thing there, a little bit too loose, having to turn too much to the right. Still trying to get used to where I need to adjust to when I'm not able to run the groove I want to run. I mean, when I'm able to run my normal groove and arc it into the corner, I know where I need to be in order to make that happen. But when I'm on the bottom of 2 or 3 wide, that's going to be a little different entry point for me. To get out of the gas, get onto the brake, and so on. All right, but so far so good. We are up to 3rd right now. So we're going to try to keep that, and 2nd place is out there a bit, which means that the leader is who knows where. But remember, every position we make up here inside the top 5 is just that much closer to the front. We are in the next main event in the alphabet soup. As far as the car's handling, overall, I'm pretty satisfied. I won't say the car is perfect because, again, as race car drivers, you know, I mean, there's always something you want the car to do a little better. But overall, not too bad. Maybe a touch on the free side. Kind of like what we talked about at Woodley. So if I had more laps to dedicate here and I could just run lap after lap after lap, I could probably dial it in a little bit better, but overall, I'm pretty happy with it. If I do my job right on the entry to the corner, then I can spend most of the remainder of the corner with the wheel at dead center. You can see right now, we are making up speed. So it looks like about a 14.8, 14.9 is what I'm going to be running if I do everything right. Trying to get this guy to slide up just enough to give me room. Really backed up the entry there, trying to give him room and also give me an opportunity. All right, there, we got him that time. All right, so he's going to fight back. I would have it no other way. I have found in my many trips down onto the berm that if you find yourself down on the berm and counter steering doesn't keep the car stable for you, then if you'll just release the throttle just a little bit, maybe to about 3/4 throttle or half throttle, that can really settle the car down. If you happen to find yourself on the berm, or if you happen to be mid-corner and you find the car getting a little too out of shape, a little too loose on you, dragging the brake can a lot of times give you the same or very similar effect. I'm telling you, I am really starting to like this higher groove. I'm trying it out now that we don't really have a ton of pressure behind us. Trying to see what I can do with it just a little bit without giving up too much time. But I believe there's something there. And it really helps out whenever you're lapping cars, that's for sure, because the lap cars don't want anything to do with that higher line. Yeah, well, we're in open track here. The car is just handling beautifully. The only issues we have with handling are created by the driver. Oh, this is beautiful. Right here through the corner. That was nice. Oh, not quite. There is a, I won't say a cushion, because I don't believe it is a cushion, but the game is giving you grip up there. It definitely feels like added grip. Something to lean on, in akin to a cushion that will give you a second groove up there. So there's something there. I just got to figure out how to use it effectively. I saw my last lap there was quite a bit faster than I was expecting. All right, we're coming down to the end of the race now. Woo! A little contact there. Nothing like a little excitement to finish off the race. Yeah, I'm loving this high line. I'm not going to be able to stop talking about this. Anytime you can get a track with multiple grooves that actually work, that's huge. And who knows, we might need it in the B main.
The top 5 finishers advance to the A main.
And the story here, very much the same as what we faced in the C main. We need to be in that top 5, and we are nowhere near the top 5 here at the start. So let's see what we got. Can we use this high line? Can we get down to the bottom? Something tells me the bottom is where we need to be here early. So once again, I'm going to flirt with this berm quite a bit. Hopefully it does not end badly for us. Boy, this is serious battling right here. We've made up no positions. All right, got pushed up there that time. That was high groove, but it wasn't by choice. Well, we can sort of maintain and hold our own out here, but I cannot go anywhere. That's the problem. I can't get up there and make any time, so we're going to have to take our medicine, fall back here, and try to work our way forward. But right now, man, these guys are just fast. Yeah, these guys are just fast. And remember, this is just the B main. This isn't the A main. That's how far off the pace we are of the actual fastest cars out here. So right now, just trying to figure out if there's a way. Oh, little contact there. Yep, I got him, no doubt. Definitely wasn't trying to, but he got out of the gas, slowed down a little bit more than I was expecting. So I'll have one coming to me for that, no doubt. If the AI hold grudges, that guy's going to be holding a grudge against me. Woo, we almost had contact there. This is some very fun racing. Very fun racing. That's one thing I will give them credit for in this game, and really in this series of games so far, is that the AI, they may have some issues with speed early on in the series, but in this game, the AI are fast from what we've seen so far at nearly every track. And they generally run a pretty good groove, hold their own. They beat and bang some. I mean, it makes for a really fun time, that's for sure. Alright, but right now I'm putting down some pretty good laps, and I'm having a hard time doing anything with these guys. We might be able to move up a couple of positions, maybe, if I do everything right. But I believe we've run out of speed, and that sort of checks out. If you go back to when we were talking after practice and qualifying, you know, we didn't quite make it to the goal time. Not quite. All right, 10 laps to go. We didn't quite make it to the goal time, and the car's handling just fine. We just lack top end, and that's motor. But that's what we lack right now. Ooh, hello. We got hooked. We got bumpers hooked together there, and that almost ended very badly for us. Luckily, I was able to corral it before things ended very badly. All right, let's see if we can get back going. We got a guy trying to get back to our inside. That was not the best entry there. I slid the back end out a little bit too much. All right, we're getting right down to it. Last, I believe, 5 laps to go. I believe. We'll have to look when we get back around. Now it's 5 laps to go. Okay. We've got a guy trying to get to our inside, which makes me very leery of going down and running that bottom groove because he's been there a few times. Trying to get back to this 12th position. I think we can get it done. I mean, we made it the first time around, and then of course we had our adventure, and now we've gotten almost back to him. Oh, there we go. We're there now. Now it's just about trying to see if we can find a way. Oh, we slid up right there. All right, we might be able to get in inside on corner entry. There we go. I got him off his line, but I could not make it stick. I had to get out of the throttle a little bit to try to make that line stick. We almost got into him again. But this is fun. Forget your finishing position. This is fun. And unfortunately, the race is over way too soon. I could have run easily another 20 or 30 laps and had a blast doing that. But unfortunately, our event is done. We will come home 13th place in the B main. So not exactly what we needed to attract that final best sponsor, but we're going to take it. Let's hit continue and move on through the final results. All right, 31st, which is right about where we are in points for the full season. Okay, season standing, we're in 30th. So yeah, right about perfect. So how many were there? Oh, there was a E main. Well, it says F. I can't imagine that was actually a thing though. But we had an E main. We started in the D, made it to the C, and then the B before finally running out of steam. But overall, I am extremely satisfied with where we were. Now, we're just down on horsepower, to make that next leap forward, and that will have to come next season because this was the final race of our season. We'll bring home $13,505. Nice, very nice race purse for us, $10,200. And then once again, our sponsor, merch, and sponsor goals. Unfortunately, we didn't get any of those for practice and qualifying, but I am very happy overall with our race weekend. $13,505. That's going to do it for us in Season 1 in the 305s. Now we'll look forward to Season 2. So thank you guys very much for joining me, and stick around for more career mode gameplay of SRX.